Hi guys, let me do a quick update and provide some points of clarification following an earlier video on the Chinese scam syndicates in Myanmar, which had reportedly been smashed last year. Now let's do a recap. 20th October 2023. On that day, Chinese police arrested about 100,000 workers in the scam syndicates. This led many to conclude that the military operation that followed 1 week later, the historic 1027, must have been sponsored by the Chinese government in an attempt to help the Myanmar government smash their scam syndicates, which targeted people mostly in China but also all over the world. This was the most popular theory that is still out there, but I've already expressed my doubts in a previous video. Recently, Japan's news network, NHK, interviewed the foreign minister of the NUG, National Unity Government in Exile, Madam Zin Ma-ong, and in that interview she demolished the theory that China was the Brotherhood Alliance sponsor. It was the NUG which had been planning this attack with the insurgent armies for 1 year. She also warned that there would be wave after wave of attacks following this initial attack. Now go check out that video on the NHK channel. While it's true that China has been the insurgent army's chief arms supplier all this while, China was not the mastermind behind 1027. This has always been obvious to me because of 3 reasons. 1. China called for a peaceful settlement after war broke out. 2. It's not in China's interest to flush Myanmar's central government control out of Shan State. The military junta is still recognized and still has the support of the Chinese government at the moment. And number 3, the military conflict has put cross-border trade on a standstill, hurting China's economy in that part of Yunnan. So why was there a massive police operation to extract scam syndicate workers just 1 week before the Brotherhood Alliance struck? Initially, I had thought that there must have been some coordination between the Brotherhood Alliance commander Peng Deren and the Chinese authorities. However, I then realized that both sides have very different motives and objectives, and the outcome didn't work entirely in favor of either side. The Chinese went in to avenge the death of 4 undercover police officers and extract their scam syndicate workers and victims. It was reportedly a joint operation by the Chinese and Myanmar authorities, but we have not seen any footage of the Myanmar authorities being involved in their extradition. Peng Deren was going in to regain control over Kokang territory and to take revenge on Bai at Alia, who betrayed his late father Peng Jiasheng. Now the 4 leading families in Kokang in northern Myanmar are the Bai family, the Wei Chaoren family, and the 2 Liu families. They ran casinos, nightclubs, smuggling and other illicit businesses in the Kokang area. Further south is Wa territory, and the Bao family is just as guilty but remain untouched. Now notice that they were hardly even mentioned during the 1020 police operation, even though they were definitely involved in the scam syndicates. Only the not so prominent Ming family was mentioned and targeted. Apparently, they are only interested in the Ming family. Head of this family is Ming Xuechang, 69 years old. He was a former member of the Shan State Parliament in Myanmar. The others reportedly in Chinese police custody are Ming Xuechang's son, Ming Guoping, daughter Ming Julan, son-in-law Bi Huijun, and granddaughter Ming Zhenzhen. Though these folks are Myanmar nationals, they also have Chinese passports and IDs, crossing the border as often as some of us go to JB. Many of them also went to schools in China. Ming Xuechang was reported to have committed suicide, but nobody has seen his body. Further doubts are raised when bodies claimed to belong to Bai and Wei and her brother-in-law were later proven to be not theirs. For killing the 4 police officers, there is good reason for the Chinese authorities to take out Ming Zhenzhen, the woman who gave orders for them to be buried alive. But was the objective of 1020 really to bust the scam syndicates? What about the even bigger crooks, the Bai and the Wei family? Why have they all gone missing? Now we know that Peng Deren had an axe to grind. He could have struck a deal with the Chinese authorities to evacuate the scammers and victims prior to the military operation on 1027. But intentionally or otherwise, 1020 had served as a warning for 1027. But there was no warning for 1020. If the Chinese police had really intended to arrest the entire Kokang leadership, which betrayed Peng Jinsheng in 2009, why had they only arrested members of the Ming family and the 100,000 or so scam syndicate workers, while leaving Ming Xuechang to commit suicide and the other families to flee? When Peng Deren's Brotherhood Alliance struck a week after the police operation had ended, it would have been very unlikely for him to find his sworn enemy, the Bai family, because the Chinese police had already ruffled their nest. Either there was some communication breakdown between the Brotherhood Alliance and the Chinese authorities, or the Chinese authorities could have acted on its own based on secret intelligence. Whatever it is, Peng Deren is left with a wish unfulfilled. His military operation had also damaged cross-border trade. Now the question on my mind now is, where did the fugitives go? Well, they have Chinese passports and IDs, and they had habitually traveled out of Myanmar through Kunming rather than Yangon. It's also only recently that the Chinese authorities put out a wanted list for the other families involved in the scam and organ harvesting business. Could these folks have already fled through Kunming? Could the wanted list be a way of denying that their escape was assisted? Keep guessing. We may never know the whole truth.